The Institute for Global Prosperity is pioneering a bold new approach to building capacities for social transformation in one of the most challenging environments of mass displacement in the world, Lebanon. The Prosperity CoLab is a place for experimentation with new models and methodologies for building pathways to prosperity. It is a place where we think about, test, and develop new approaches that draw on the knowledge not just of academics, but also of entrepreneurs, policymakers, and citizens within the community. Collaboration outside the university is at the core of what we do. We build networks of people with diverse expertise that can then co-design solutions that can help their communities to cope with current challenges in an inclusive and sustainable way. Our work is constantly adapting in the face of new innovations, possibilities, and limitations of research in the continually changing condition of Lebanon. We launched the Relief Center in 2017. At the time, refugees accounted for approximately 1/4 of Lebanon's population, while at the same time, economic hardships and infrastructural challenges were experienced across the country. Working with residents in diverse locations, including both hosts and refugees, we explored the patterns of inclusion and exclusion within urban settings impacted by displacement. In Uzai, the research investigated how Syrian refugees in the informal settlement were active agents in the urban transformation of the area, contributing to its economic vitality through their socio-spatial practices. In Berliez, participatory research in partnership with local charity Catalytic Action examined the links between infrastructure, vulnerability, and displacement, and resulted in the creation of a spatial intervention that addresses the challenges articulated by the residents of the community. And with Public Works, another local partner with whom we work closely, we looked at the exclusive and unjust effects of market-driven urban development in Beirut through investigating cases of eviction and displacement of vulnerable social groups in Tariq Jdide, at the intersection of urban landscapes, legal frameworks, and class inequalities. In Birj Brajni camp, we have been looking at how people negotiate and construct their built environment and use this analysis to think about new ways to generate vitality in the urban landscape of camps. With Catalytic Action, we are developing a spatial intervention in the camp, being implemented in 2021-2022. In Hamra, our citizen scientists developed a prosperity index and neighborhood profile in collaboration with the AUB Neighborhood Initiative and UN Habitat. The data they collected has subsequently informed citizen-led interventions to create more green spaces, address the education challenge in Hamra, and support small local businesses. A MOOC was launched by then to empower community members to be involved in all stages of research projects so that solutions can be co-designed and fully embedded through our citizen science methodology. This was followed by a MOOC on transforming education, which was created in collaboration with the Lebanese University to support teachers working with vulnerable populations. In 2020, after the October uprising, and in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, we partnered with Catalytic Action once again to launch a Prosperity Index data collection program in El Mina, Tripoli. The data is now being activated in developing a citizen-led intervention in El Mina's main public space. Meanwhile, the relief education team was quick to address the challenges that the pandemic posed for educational provision. They responded by creating a MOOC to support the teachers in Lebanon in their transition to online teaching. After the devastating explosion in the port of Beirut on August 4, 2020, we launched a vulnerability index to explore the changing landscape of local vulnerabilities from pre-crisis to post-explosion in the neighborhood of Mar Mikhail. Our partners Catalytic Action and Beirut Urban Lab developed participatory spatial interventions in Karantina to improve and enhance public spaces in the neighborhood. Another research angle by the Beirut Urban Lab examined the status of businesses in Karantina as a form of vital recovery linked to their resistance to displacement. We supported Public Works Studio in their launch of the Housing Monitor, a crucial community housing tool designed to protect and advance housing rights in Lebanon. Under these conditions, Lebanon faces enormous pressure on infrastructures of all kind, on the resources and the public services that Lebanese citizens, refugees, and migrants share, on energy, water, food security, and waste, all of which affect everyone's quality of life. The Relief Center hosts regular meetings for a growing community of practice of energy experts from different organizations. In an attempt to bridge the gap between experts and citizens and incorporate citizens' experiences in decision-making, we hosted the first Citizens' Assembly on Electricity in the Middle East in October 2020. This took place in the Hamra neighborhood, making use of the extensive data we had collected there in the previous year. Later on, in 2021, a MOOC on sustainable energy access for communities was created, featuring case studies from all over the world, including our own Citizens' Assembly on Energy. Further research on energy in Lebanon led to an analysis of the unbundling of Lebanon's energy sector. On a smaller scale, we are experimenting with building a microbial fuel cell with the community of the Lebanese University in Tripoli. In addition to electricity infrastructure, other infrastructure systems in Lebanon are also examined in our work. In an attempt to inform the national water sector strategy, a research project is being conducted on wastewater treatment facilities and ways to interlink them with energy generation across Lebanon. And an ethnographic study on waste workers in Beirut seeks to understand the role of labor in infrastructural systems. We're also collaborating with our partner network of Sustainable Development Goals entrepreneurs, Fast Forward 2030 Lebanon. We're working together in support of their vision in resolving organic waste management in the city and enhancing the use of algae-polluted irrigation lakes. In Barlies, with Catalytic Action, citizen scientists monitored the impact and use of the participatory spatial intervention 2 years after its implementation. Finally, seeing the accumulation of multiple crises on all dimensions of citizens' lives, we have revisited and adapted our prosperity indices in Ras Beirut and El Mina to focus on livelihoods. We have used innovative and interdisciplinary methodological and theoretical frameworks to explore informal and atypical labor markets in the context of severe economic decline. The promise of the Procol Lebanon is that through our research on quality of life and infrastructure on a variety of scales and through our co-designed research methodologies, we are contributing to developing community capabilities in service of sustainable pathways to prosperity for Lebanon.